Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Change your game with the all-new Pro Rock Hockey Stick, a Canadian company providing a top-of-the-line twig at an affordable price. Pro Rock sticks are extremely lightweight, balanced, and provide the perfect kick point. Get your fully customized stick today at ProRock.com. Play like a Pro Rock.
What's happening today, everybody? Welcome to Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner on 12 Ounce Sports. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We are live, and I'm so excited for today's show. But before I get into today's breaking news, I am in such a good mood, and I'm going to tell y'all why. On the 149th show today, because at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time, ladies and gentlemen, please do not go anywhere whatsoever. One of my close friends, Yoni Jonathan Aron, will be joining me as a live guest today, and he truly believes that he's going to take me to school on NBA Top 10 teams and other NFL topic segments where I'm going to absolutely 100% absolutely prove him wrong. He thinks he knows this stuff, but I will share my NBA top 10 before he calls me. And I'm going back to the old college days in Towson Hill on every single Monday morning. Me and him, we would always have NFL top 10 teams on the board, on the whiteboard, and then we would always argue with each other. So if you like arguments, you like debates, don't go anywhere. He's a big Washington, D.C. sports fan, also an NBA fan. But now the breaking news into today's show. So the Washington football team is planning to move on from Alex Smith. They're going to release him. I mean, it was a wonderful story and how he came back. But the cap and the money situation obviously didn't make sense. So where did he go from here? Well, you signed Taylor Heinicke to a 2-year, $8 million contract extension. You signed to a 2-year, $8 million contract extension. Maybe he's your quarterback after the way he played against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Or you could sign Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's on the free agent market, from the Miami Dolphins. Washington fan thinks that should be primary option. I actually said that. Or you could maybe trade for Marcus Mariota from the Las Vegas Raiders. He would be another interesting option. Or let's throw a wild card here. Cam Newton back with Ron Rivera and during his days with the Carolina Panthers, went to Super Bowl L and then lost to the Denver Broncos. Or, that's probably your best option. You're not going to go Kyle Allen or whatever else you got. All right, let me start off with this. Yes, I was a little bit surprised when the Maple Leafs shut down the Oilers on Saturday night. Now I know that Toronto's not known for its defense, and yeah, I know they didn't have Freddie Anderson. But the fact that you don't have Austin Matthews, you shut down Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, is phenomenal from Toronto's standpoint. What it also proved is that the Toronto Maple Leafs are deeper and better than the Edmonton Oilers. Because, look, Mitchell Marner, John Tavares, William Nylander. That's who you have after Austin Matthews. On the Edmonton side of things, what do you have after Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl? Really not much of anything other than Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Alex Chiasson? That's the drop-off? That's what Edmonton has after Toronto? And there's a reason why Toronto sits in first place in the entire NHL this morning. And I know these two teams are going to be playing each other again this week. Twice. One on tonight and one on Wednesday. I believe tonight is in Edmonton, and I believe Wednesday's in Toronto. But let's look at the bigger picture here. The whole narrative of the Toronto Maple Leafs was that they can't play defense in big spots, can't get quality goaltending, which is true. But maybe, as they say, this year's different than all other years with the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs have shown no signs to me whatsoever that they're not the best team in the NHL. Translation, they are the best team in the NHL this morning. When you don't have Austin Matthews, and arguably Edmonton might be the second or third best team in the entire NHL, you could do that without Austin Matthews. That's pretty impressive on the road. And you don't have your starting goalie, which might also be a concern come playoff time. And he was not on the injury report yesterday. And we don't know if Austin Matthews is suiting up tonight once again for if he's going to suit up or not tonight for Toronto. And the thing is, Connor McDavid, Harvey Arnsel of the Edmonton Oilers, he has to find a way to be much better tonight. And so does Leon Draisaitl. It's very rare to shut down the both of them. Toronto ain't going to do it 3 times, let alone in a row for that matter. That is not going to happen. The fact that Toronto did this was, you know what they say? A broken clock is twice a day. Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs defense was right. Only for twice a day. It's better to do it twice a day than not do it at all, right? And you got to play some defense in order to be the best team in the league. And they also got one of the most sickest offenses in the entire National Hockey League. Now let's get into what happened in that 4-0 win. First period goals, William Nylander, 14:37 mark on the power play, assisted by Mitchell Marner and John Tavares. Mitchell Marner, first period also for Toronto at the 15:50 mark, assisted by John Tavares and Joe Thornton. Second period goals, Toronto, Jason Spezza, 11:15 mark, assisted by Jimmy Vesey and TJ Brody. Third period goals, Toronto, Zach Hyman, 13:34 mark, assisted by Pierre Engvall and Jake Muzzin. The biggest shock of them all was that Jack Campbell recorded a 30-save shutout. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mike Smith actually didn't play that bad for the Edmonton Oilers, did finish with 25 saves. For the Edmonton Oilers, as I said, Toronto and Edmonton will play each other 2 more times this week. Now let me move on to my next segment here. Hey, that's hockey, baby. What a goal by Patrick Kane, career number 400. Of the words of John Forsland. Always does a tremendous job calling the games. And I'm going to say this. Patrick Kane, you saw the way the game was playing. Chicago's up 4-1 in the third period against Detroit. Kane had the puck on the stick, and there was no way in the high seas. He was simply passing that puck. Patrick Kane, and Eddie Olczyk was talking about it last night on the broadcast. Is Patrick Kane arguably the best Chicago Blackhawks player ever? The answer is probably, it's a possibility, yes. The RP Arnsel of the Chicago Blackhawks, and it's amazing they've been doing this without Jonathan Toews. This gives them more room. With Jonathan Toews being out of the lineup due to health reasons this season, guys got like Pius Suter and Alex DeBrincat's playing more. Well, DeBrincat's coming to his own. But you also Ryan Carpenter. You got all these other guys. There's really no true captain without Jonathan Toews. But you still got Patrick Kane, Duncan Keith. And how about, why don't the actual reason why Chicago is actually good this year? Kevin Lankinen, 44 saves last night for the Chicago Blackhawks. The ultimate story for the Blackhawks this season. And that's the reason why they're in a playoff spot today. Malcolm Subban, I thought at the beginning of the year when they faced Tampa Bay Lightning, oh boy, they're going to be one of the worst teams. They got no goaltending. Him and Colin Delia, this is going to be a disaster. And then Kevin Lankinen comes to town, and here we are. You know what this is like for Chicago? I'm going to give you 2 instances. Jordan Binnington of St. Louis, number 1, they won the cup. Number 2, Matt Murray in 2016. This is exactly what it looks like. But the thing is, Lankinen is younger, and Lankinen might have more upside than the both of them. That's what I see with Kevin Lankinen and the Chicago Blackhawks. And with Patrick Kane's 400 career goal at the 9-10 mark, it was assisted by Alex DeBrincat, who had a phenomenal game yesterday for Chicago. I don't know, their coach might be up for Coach of the Year, but let's truth be told. They're way ahead of schedule to rebuild. And my Uncle Frank said to me, yeah, they're probably good to have tremendous scouts. I thought Lankinen was drafted. No, he was signed as an undrafted free agent. Wado was also signed as an undrafted free agent. Pius Suter was also an undrafted free agent. And we used to give general manager, and I did, general manager Stan Bowman a ton of heat. Why they fired Joel Quenneville? The head coach, yeah, was probably maybe they needed a new voice. But Stan Bowman was the reason why Chicago was in turmoil. And we all thought they were going to be in a rebuild. That's what I thought the front office was trying to send a message. And Jonathan Taves, Patrick Kane were not happy about it. But now the temperature in the room has changed. Winning is the old phrase. Winning changes everything. And especially working well for the Chicago Blackhawks, led by Patrick Kane this year. Oh, he should be up for the Hart Trophy. Along with him, Mitchell Marner, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl might be the 5 best players in the league. Other than Sidney Crosby, the Pittsburgh Penguins, Alex Ovechkin, Ovechkin to watch the Capitals, which is not a surprise. But the Chicago Blackhawks have truly been a surprise this year in the NHL. And I'll get to the NHL standings later on after that 7-2 win last night for Chicago Blackhawks in dominating fashion over rebuilding Detroit Red Wings. It's clear that Chicago's way ahead of the game against Detroit. So what other games happened in the NHL? Oh, Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers. So Sunday afternoon, domination by Boston 4-1 over New York after they got embarrassed 6-2 on Friday night. And now with limited fans inside Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena in New York, I'm just going to say this. The Rangers and the Bruins obviously do not like each other. You could tell at the way that end of the game escalated yesterday. The Boston Bruins were lost 4 out of 5 until that very moment. Maybe Boston's found its mojo back, tight defense, get some good goals, depth play. You got the Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron line. So that's what I have to say about the Boston Bruins. And Tuukka Rask was much better. But when it comes to playoff time, I'm not really sure if that's going to be trustworthy from him or not. And Bruce Cassidy, as always, one of the most underrated coaches in the entire National Hockey League. No one gives him enough credit, and I do not understand why. And as for the New York Rangers, it's only going to be a matter of time until David Quinn gets the boot. Rangers got talent. I just don't think it's living the potential. Or is it that they don't know how to simply draft? Simply, you passed up on Noah Dobson and Oliver Wahlstrom. My Uncle Frank was telling me last night, big New York Islanders fan. And maybe that's something that the New York Islanders, maybe he gives me all the hassle. Maybe they're not a good organization. But maybe the Islanders better run than the New York Rangers? Are they? Because we get a lot of heat. They did hire Barry Trotz. They have won playoff series in the last couple of years. What did the New York Rangers done? And I know the Rangers were in the Stanley Cup Finals 2014. The Islanders haven't sniffed it since the 1980s. I get it. But more recently, after the Rangers went to the Cup, Rangers haven't really done anything. Rangers had the same amount of conference finals appearances as the Islanders do. Islanders have had better success. They're getting a new stadium. that's going to maybe attract marquee free agents. Yeah, and I know Artemi Panarin went to the Rangers, but only the New York Rangers can have something like that happen to them with an Artemi Panarin-like situation. I don't remember a top star player for the Islanders having a type of situation like that. Yeah, and I know the whole John Tavares situation, the whole Matthew Barzal beef, I understand that. But they didn't have any, like, drama. They don't have drama with players. Maybe Josh Oseng was the last I can recall. But the New York Rangers are a mess, and it ain't surprising. So what exactly happened? First period goes Boston Bruins, Charlie Coyle, 6:41 mark. Assisted by David Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy. Boston Bruins, Trent Frederick, 18:14 mark. Assisted by Connor Clifton, Jack Stunica. Second period goes Charlie McAvoy, 10:20 mark. Assisted by David Pastrnak, Brad Marchand. Third period goes New York Rangers, Colin Blackwell, 10:47 mark. Assisted by Alexis Lafreniere. Lafreniere and Keandre Miller. Boston Bruins, Charlie Coyle, shorthanded goal, empty net goal, 18:05 mark in the third period, assisted by Sean Kuraly. Tuukka Rask finished the game with 20 saves. He bounced back in a big way in this hot game after giving up 6 goals on Friday night. As I said, 2-game losing streak they're on. They gave up 13 goals in that span. They gave up 7 goals when Yaroslav Halak wasn't then on Thursday night against New York Islanders on the road also here as well. Igor Shesterkin did play a little bit in this game for New York Rangers. He finished the game with 1 save for New York Rangers because he had to come in the game temporarily in the first period because of a concussion protocol due to Alexander Georgiev. Georgiev, he finished the game with 31 saves for New York Rangers. New York is one of the bottom feeders in the East Division, and Boston goes back to remaining. They're in second place in the East Division. So I'll get to those standings later on. Use promo code 12OunceSports. All caps with deposit bonus up to $1,000. For my bookie, we are live on 12-Ounce Sports, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm just letting you know, I got a group message the other day. So I was mentioning about the new show I was supposed to start tomorrow with Mike X Glenn. But it will not be starting tomorrow. And I'll let you know when it will happen at a later date at some point. But for now, I'm just on the air for Mondays and Thursdays. And I would also like to thank Michael Cavales, JB Beck, Cody Jensen, Lou Gamblin, Tyler Valdez, Philly Pete, the King of the Ice, and all the other 12-Ounce Sports member crews for all the wonderful hard work they put in every single day to make their shows wonderful and even better with the viewers, followers, and listeners we are gaining here. And ladies and gentlemen, in about 27 minutes from now, you simply do not want to go anywhere. Now, I have 26 minutes. You do not want to go anywhere. Special guest, Yoni Jathanara, will be joining me live on the show. Close friend of mine, Washington, D.C. sports fan, NBA fan. And I'm telling you, if you love sports debates, you don't want to go anywhere. It might get a little feisty. So you do not simply want to miss it. Because what he calls me today, he's simply going to be putting some L's on his resume. And he'll probably take those L's with some pride. Because he knows I'm not losing and he'll be the loser in this one. I'm just busting. I just like bust them all around. Just trying to hype the whole thing up. So, ladies and gentlemen, simply you do not want to miss this. So, now let me get into my next segment over here. Into the NBA. So what happened on Saturday night between the Dallas Mavericks and the Brooklyn Nets? So Dallas, in a surprising win, won 115-98. It was a complete utter blowout. Brooklyn Nets, they kept it close relatively in the first half. And then the fourth quarter came and the game just got away from them and happened. They didn't have Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant held out till after the All-Star break. Kevin Durant is going to be replaced by Domantas Sabonis of the Indiana Pacers, and good for him that he gets in. He should have been in the first place. And then Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics will be in the starting lineup instead, but they said Kevin Durant will still draft this team. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm curious to see how that's going to go. Oh, probably that What that probably means is even though Durant's drafted, oh, that's going to be a little bit tricky. That probably means he has Sabonis because he's his replacement. So that probably means that's the team that Durant will coach. But on a brighter note, Luka Doncic continues to be shining for the Dallas Mavericks, continues to do things with grace and class as he always does for the Dallas community on and off the court. He's just one of those fantastic players, and he'll also be starting in the All-Star game. And I see the way he played in that first quarter, I'm like, oh boy, he's going to go off. I thought in the group chat, I thought it was going to be like 40, 50, 60 points, not in the 12-ounce sports group chat, but my former Towson fantasy basketball group chat. So that's what I was talking about, 40, 50, 60. My friends like, you got ratioed, and my friends like to me, never mind. So then, how did Luka Doncic play? 27 points on 52.4% shooting from the field for Dallas. He also grabbed 6 rebounds, recorded 7 assists, and recorded 2 steals. Those were Doncic's stat lines. Kristaps Porzingis, amid the trade rumors, he's going to show up to professionalism every single day. And he's obviously not going to quit on teammates like James Harden and some of the other guys did. So Kristaps Porzingis, he scored 18 points for the Mavericks. He also shot 53.8% from the field. Porzingis also grabbed 4 rebounds, recorded 2 assists, blocked 3 shots, recorded 1 steal. Jalen Brunson, he might be their 3rd best player. He scored 14 points off the bench for Dallas. He shot 54.5% from the field. Brunson also grabbed 3 rebounds, recorded 1 assist, and recorded 2 steals. So how did James Harden do? Led away for the Brooklyn Nets with 29 points. He shot 42.9% from the field. Harden also grabbed 7 rebounds, recorded 6 assists, and blocked 1 shot. Bruce Brown scored 12 points for Brooklyn. He shot 55.6% from the field. Brown also grabbed 9 rebounds and recorded 3 assists. Jeff Green also scored 12 points. For the Nets, he shot 71.4% from the field. Green also grabbed 2 rebounds and recorded 2 assists. So here's the game that happened yesterday. The Los Angeles Clippers and the Milwaukee Bucks. So you know how Twitter could kind of get ruthless at various moments, at various times. Well, the Clippers blew a lead yesterday. And the thing that got trending immediately was Pandemic P. And Twitter is always ruthless. And it always had to seem to have the skeleton emoji. I've actually never used it. But it's actually kind of funny. I don't know why they use the skeleton emoji, but it's actually rather funny. So the Milwaukee Bucks were down in the game, and they came back to rally to win 105-100 on Sunday afternoon. That game was televised on ABC. It's around 3:30 Eastern Time. So here's the thing. We have always questioned Giannis Antetokounmpo about his will to win. Can he take over games when trailing? Well, Giannis Antetokounmpo was actually the reason why the Bucks actually came back and won. They were down by 5 points with 8:30 remaining in regulation. So here's what he did in the final 8 minutes and 30 seconds of the ball game. He scored 17 of his 36 points. The Los Angeles Clippers had a 5-point lead at the time of Milwaukee Bucks. He was 6 of 6 from the field, scored 17 of Milwaukee's final 22 points, clutch 3 throws and also clutch dunk to go up 103-100 after having a 101-100 lead late in the 4th quarter. And what did Giannis do? He actually finished the game with 36 points from Milwaukee. Antetokounmpo also shot 55.6% from the field. He also grabbed 14 rebounds, recorded 5 assists, blocked 4 shots, and recorded 1 steal. So those were Giannis Antetokounmpo's stat line. So how did his partners in crime really do? Chris Middleton scored 19 points for Milwaukee. He also shot 42.9% from the field. Middleton also grabbed 6 rebounds and recorded 8 assists. Drew Holiday missed the last 10 games for the Milwaukee Bucks due to coronavirus protocols. It was good to have him back for the side of Milwaukee. He came off the bench in his basketball game. Holiday only finished the game with only 2 points. He only shot 20% from the field. He took 5 shots. Drew Holiday also recorded 3 assists. Kawhi Leonard once again was sensational for the Los Angeles Clippers. Leonard did get shut down by Pat Connaughton on a key possession of 4th quarter when they were trailing down by 3 points 4th quarter. That was a 103-100 possession. Leonard did score 25 points for Los Angeles. He also shot 47.6% from the field. Kawhi Leonard also grabbed 9 rebounds, recorded 3 assists, blocked 0 shots, and recorded 2 steals. Paul George and his Twitter name, Pandemic PS, I already said, was already trending after his loss immediately on Twitter, and Twitter followers and characters are honestly ruthless. George finished the game with only 16 points for the Clippers. He also shot 33.3% from the field. Paul George also grabbed 7 rebounds, recorded 7 assists, and blocked 1 shot for Los Angeles. Serge Ibaka scored 15 points for the Clippers. He also shot 46.2% from the field. Ibaka also grabbed 11 rebounds, blocked 2 shots, and recorded 1 steal. So that was the stat line on the side of things for the Los Angeles Clippers. Excuse me. Use promo code 12ounce sports, all caps, for deposit bonus up to $1,000 for MyBookie. We are live on 12ounce sports, Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner, mybookie.ag, 12ounce sports, quench your sports thirst, 12ouncesportsradio.com/Amazon, promo 12ounce sports. Ladies and gentlemen, we are only 19 minutes away from my special guest, Yoni Jonathan Iron. So don't go anywhere for the special sports debates of the Washington, D.C. sports fan and also the NBA. So let me now get into my next segment here. Pittsburgh Penguins. So let me recap what happened with them this weekend. So Thursday through Sunday. So the Pittsburgh Penguins had an unfortunate break against Washington Capitals on Thursday night by a final score of 5-2. So that was Thursday, what happened with them. So I remember watching that game, and Chris Letang's stick broke twice, and maybe he needed some new ones. And I recall this because those are some 2 unfortunate breaks. I remember when it happened to Phil Kessel a couple of times. I forgot to tweet on Twitter and Facebook, like, what is going on here with all these sticks? They're breaking. And then Tristan Jarry continues to play well, and so does Sidney Crosby, Brandon Tanev, Jake Guentzel. I'm not so sure if Evgeny Malkin has really played well recently. But then they also faced the New York Islanders twice on a back-to-back on Saturday, Sunday. They won 4-3 in overtime Saturday night thanks to Chris Letang's 2-goal performance, especially in overtime. It was late in the overtime session. And goaltender Tristan Jarry once again stole the show. They always find a comeback when trailing. I don't know how. But that's the way to seem their DNA is. Get down by a couple of goals, maybe 1 goal, to find a way to come back, be mentally tough. And then on Sunday, they were shut out 2-0 by Ilya Sorokin. And I saw the standings this morning, and I'm going to kind of get to those in a minute. I'm going to say my thoughts for that. And Oliver Wahlstrom and J.G. Pageau scored for the Islanders. And Wahlstrom had a wicked shot on Casey DeSmith. Oh, boy. I'm like, did he get cloned by Alex Ovechkin to watch the Capitals? I saw that go, I'm like, over the shoulder? From the left point? Sheesh! What a shot that was. And Sorokin's first 2 wins for the Islanders have been via shutout of his NHL career. And the New York Islanders are hoping he's going to have a very long and effective career in the NHL. As far as the Pittsburgh Penguins are concerned, they have to go back to the drawing board and face the Philadelphia Flyers for 3 consecutive games this upcoming week, and that's going to make it or break it their season. And from the Islanders' point of view, some fans feel like Semyon Varlamov needs to rest and let Ilya Sorokin play a little bit more. For now, let's get to the Washington Capitals and Tom Wilson's dirtiness side of viewpoint here. So the Washington Capitals, I'm going to go back to what happened this weekend starting from Thursday, always find a way to sometimes make things dirty against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So Tom Wilson could have very well been ejected from the game on his hit on one of Pittsburgh's players on Thursday, but Wilson was only assessed a minor penalty and Evgeny Malkin had some very nice words for him. Yeah, they weren't really so nice now, were they? So some Pittsburgh fans feel like he shouldn't have even been on the ice for that goal. The goal that Wilson scored later on in the game that won it for them. And that was unfortunate because it actually came on the Chris Letang broken stick also. No one gave him his stick. And now 5-2 win for Washington over Pittsburgh. So, Nicholas Backstrom stays hot. Evgeny Kuznetsov hasn't been really done much. TJ Oshie's played very well. Alex Ovechkin and Jakub Vrana. Now, Ovechkin's got 713 career goals, and Vrana scored on his birthday yesterday, and that stick is hot like fire. They can't even burn that thing out even if they tried. But the only thing that might burn with Jakub Vrana is my words. Oh, I hope I just didn't put them in a gold drought spent for Washington Capitals fans. So we'll see how they do. And then they faced the New Jersey Devils this past weekend. Washington beat them twice, 5-2 and 3-2. So now let me get into the NBA standings and the NHL standings here. Let's start with the NBA standings. As we speak this morning, if the season ended today, the number 8, well, actually I have to do this technically speaking because of the NBA players. The number 10 seed Chicago Bulls at 15-17 versus number 7 seed Toronto Raptors at 17-17. And the number 9 seed Indiana Pacers at 15-17 versus the number 8 seed Charlotte Hornets at 16-17. My thoughts are the Charlotte Hornets would beat Indiana, but Indiana might steal a game. And the Toronto Raptors, I think, would beat the Chicago Bulls convincingly. So what are the top 6 in the East? Number 6, the Boston Celtics, 17-17. Number 5, the Miami Heat at 17-17. At number 4, yeah, I'm about to say it, the New York Knicks at 18-17. I can't believe what's going on. Tom Thibodeau might actually win the Coach of the Year. They were going to be a bottom 5 team. And now what's going on with the New York Knicks is, I don't know if they have a great roster, but Julius Randle deserves to be an all-star. But that's a tremendous job what that coaching staff is doing over there. Number 3, Milwaukee Bucks at 21-13. Number 2, the Brooklyn Nets at 22-13. And number 1, the Philadelphia 76ers at 22-12. So now let's go through 8 through 1. Philly over Charlotte. Brooklyn over Toronto. Milwaukee over Boston. And Miami over New York. Philly over Miami. Milwaukee over Brooklyn. I'll take Brooklyn over Philly. Now let's go to the Western Conference. 10 seed Memphis Grizzlies at 15-15 versus number 7 seed Denver Nuggets at 18-15. Number 9 seed Dallas Mavericks at 16-16 versus number 8 seed Golden State Warriors at 19-16. I would take Denver over Memphis, and I'm actually taking Dallas to beat Golden State twice. So what does that mean? Utah versus Dallas, I would take. Oh, actually, let me read top 6 first in the West. Number 6, Portland, 18-14. Number 5, San Antonio Spurs at 17-12. Number 4, the Phoenix Suns at 22-11. Number 3, the Los Angeles Clippers at 24-12. Number 2, the Los Angeles Lakers at 24-11. Number 1, the Utah Jazz at 27-7. So Dallas versus Utah, give me Utah. Denver Lakers, give me the Lakers. Portland Clippers, I'll take the Clippers. Spurs Suns, I'll take the Suns. Jazz over Suns. Clippers over Lakers. Jazz over Clippers. Jazz Nets, I would probably take the Nets over the Jazz right now in a 6 or 7 game series. So now let's get to the National Hockey League. Let's start with the East Division. NHL standings update. Number 1 seed Washington Capitals, 12-5-4 record with 28 points. Number 2 Boston Bruins, 12-5-2 record with 26 points. Number 3 seed New York Islanders, 11-6-4 record with 26 points. Number 4 Philadelphia Flyers, 11-4-3 record with 25 points. And just on the outside, number 5 Pittsburgh Penguins, 11-8-1 record, 23 points. So Pittsburgh has to take 2 out of 3 against Philadelphia. Philadelphia has 2 games in hand. If Pittsburgh does not show up against the Flyers, their season might be over, and we might be looking at them being sellers instead of buyers at the trade deadline. So who will win each series? Washington over Philadelphia, New York Islanders over Boston Bruins, and then I would take the Washington Capitals over the New York Islanders. Now let's get to the West Division. Vegas Golden Knights, 12-4-1 record, 25 points. Minnesota Wild, 12-6-2 record. Actually, 12-6 with 24 points. An actual 12-6. Legit 12-6. Number 3, St. Louis Blues. 11-8-2, 24 points. Colorado Avalanche, 11-6-1, 23 points, excuse me. On the outside looking in, Los Angeles Kings, 9-2 and 4 with 22 points. And Arizona Coyotes 9-9 and 3 with 21 points. And Minnesota Wild surprising with 12 and 6, a true 12 and 6 with 24 points. And 12 and 6, yep. So I would take Colorado over Vegas. I'm going to take Minnesota over St. Louis. Colorado, Minnesota. I'll take Colorado over Minnesota. Let's go now to the North Division. Toronto Maple Leafs, 16-4 and 2. With 34 points, the President's Trophy's winners right now. Now, the good news for Toronto fans is they have not won the Stanley Cup since 1967, and the last time a team with the President's Trophy won the Stanley Cup was in a shortened season by the 2012-2013 Chicago Blackhawks. Number 2 seed Edmonton Oilers, 14-9 with 28 points. Number 3 seed Winnipeg Jets, 13-6-1, 27 points. Montreal Canadiens, 4 seed, 9-6-3 record, 23 points. And number 5, the Calgary Flames, 10-10-2 record with 22 points. So Toronto over Montreal, I'll take Edmonton over Winnipeg, and I would take Toronto over Edmonton. Now let's look at the Central Division. Much better than I expected it would be this year. Number 1, Tampa Bay Lightning, 14-4-1, 29 points. 2 seed Florida Panthers, 13-4-4, 13-4-3, 29 points. 3 seed Chicago Blackhawks, 12-7-6 record, 28 points. Carolina Hurricanes, 13-6-1, 27 points. Columbus Blue Jackets, outside looking in, 8-10-5 record, 21 points. Nashville Predators, a true 10-11 record with 20 points. So I think Tampa Bay would beat Carolina, and I think Florida beats Chicago. But who wins Tampa Bay, Florida? I think Florida will find a way because Tampa Bay will maybe get fatigued in the playoffs with being a back-to-back Stanley Cup champion. So who has the worst record? 29 points. Okay. So the Vegas Golden Knights would face the Toronto Maple Leafs in the conference finals. And then the Washington Capitals would face the Florida Panthers. So I would take Toronto over Vegas and Washington over Florida. And honestly, with the way I see it, I think Washington in some ways could be better than Toronto. But yeah, I might take Washington. So what is this? Okay. That's what I think. Maybe, I don't know what that's the way the bracket is right now. Maybe Washington wins the whole thing. Yeah, maybe I'm probably saying with my head stuff out of my rear end right now. But it is a lot of time for me to change my mind on that because I like Vitek Vanacek. And personally, I think he made more timely saves than Freddie Anderson in the Stanley Cup Final. Although I would prefer it to be in East-West format, but not the way I had it out to be. That's just the way I happen to manage to do it. So, now let me get into my NHL top 10 teams. Number 10, the Philadelphia Flyers. Number 9, the Washington Capitals. Number 8, the Carolina Hurricanes. Number 7, the Vegas Golden Knights. Number 6, the Winnipeg Jets. Number 5, the Boston Bruins. Number 4, the Florida Panthers. Number 3, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 2, the Edmonton Oilers. And number 1, the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, and who just missed the list here? New York Islanders, Pittsburgh Penguins, Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues, and Calgary Flames. So those are some of the teams that I have just missing my top 10 NHL teams at this point in time. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you this right now. Get ready, because in just a few seconds here, I'm going to announce my NBA top 10. So here I am on the whiteboard, writing in the Sharpie, not Sharpie, but the board markers. And Yoni Jonathan Howard, I hope you're listening to this right now before you call me. So here are my top 10 teams in the NBA At this point in time, number 10, the Golden State Warriors. At number 10 because of Steph Curry and playing well defensively. Number 9, the Portland Trailblazers because of Damian Lillard. Number 8, the Toronto Raptors. I like them because of Norman Powell, Fred VanVleet, and Pascal Siakam, and Nick Nurse is a tremendous coach. Number 7, the Los Angeles Lakers. I think they have to be this low because I do not like them. And I know they won the last couple of games, but I do not like them without Anthony Davis. And LeBron James cannot do it all at this point in his career. Despite the defensive coach by Frank Vogel, and they got Dennis Schroeder too. Number 6, the Milwaukee Bucks, led by Giannis Antetokounmpo. And Drew Holiday's coming back, and also Chris Middleton and Mike Budenholzer. Number 5, the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and Frank Kaminsky. And Cameron Johnson are legitimate players for the Suns. And don't forget about Dario Saric. Number 4, the Brooklyn Nets. I like Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving all together, but their interior defense kind of scares me a little bit. Yeah, I know I probably predict them go all the way, but the thing is, at this point in time, how's it really going to evolve, shaping up to be later on in the year? Number 3, the Los Angeles Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. And then Serge Ibaka, maybe Nicholas Batum will step up. Number 2, the Philadelphia 76ers. They're impossible to beat when you have Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, Danny Green, and Seth Curry in your starting lineup. And lastly but not least, the number 1 team in the NBA at this moment, the Utah Jazz, led by Donovan Mitchell, as Stephen A. Smith calls him a young Dwayne Wade. That's the way the Utah Jazz are. I'm telling you, the Utah Jazz are one of the Utah Jazz. You want to know what they remind me of? They're like the Dallas Mavericks 2011, the Cleveland Cavaliers of 2016, and the Toronto Raptors of 2019. That's what they exactly remind me of here. Because the Toronto Raptors and this Utah Jazz team very similar. Kawhi Leonard 1 star, Donovan Mitchell 1 star. Kyle Lowry, Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gobert, Marc Gasol. That's what I feel like here with this Jazz team. Nick Nurse, Quinn Snyder. So I feel like the Utah Jazz are legitimate, and they're no joke. The Utah Jazz might win the NBA Finals this year, but they haven't been there since the 1990s. And when they actually faced off against the Chicago Bulls. Donovan Mitchell does a lot of things with grace and class. And that's just the way the Utah Jazz seem to operate. And just less than a minute from now, my special guest, Washington, D.C. sports fan, Yoni Jonathan Aro, today will be my 11th consecutive guest I have on my radio show here on 12ouncesportsradio.com. He is a close friend of mine. He actually runs group chats, Fantasy Sports League from Towson University, a close friend of mine from college. He is a huge Washington, D.C. sports fan, and he even created his own podcast. And Yoni Jonathan Aaron's also a huge NBA fan also. And don't worry, when he's about to call me in a minute, he's probably about to take some big L's from me. Just waiting for that phone to ring now in just any minute. And I hope he doesn't accidentally call me at noon, because that would just utterly be embarrassing. He joked about that when we were tweeting my show preview yesterday. Maybe he forgot. Maybe he had to do some assignments. It's 11:45. I haven't seen the phone ring yet. Maybe he got busy with some assignments. I know he'll call me. I know he... of course he had to call me. Good morning, Yoni. Thank you for coming on today's show.
Happy to be here, Glenn.
All right. I want to hear your NBA top 10 teams list. Did you hear mine or did you not?
I heard it. I got some problems. You'll find out where.
All right. Let me hear it.
All right. So we're going to first talk about a quick bit about the teams that did not make the top 10 because honestly, it's so tight. I'll start by saying that the Celtics, Raptors, Mavs, Nuggets, and Blazers are not in the top 10.
I did not say the Dallas Mavericks.
So coming in at number 10, the San Antonio Spurs. Playing incredible team ball. DeRozan's really stepped up his game as a distributor. Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson, and that young core are playing well. And they're a disciplined team and fighting. If you look at that roster, it might be Pop's best job ever. They're like the 5th seed, and on paper, it's one of the worst rosters in the conference.
And you know what, Yoni? I actually like your Spurs pick. They are the 5 seed in the tough Western Conference. See, I just find it hard because Greg Popovich, it's a boring style. I don't think they have any true superstars. You're right about DeRozan. I could actually respect the Spurs one, and that pick I actually like. Go on, number 9.
Of course, number 9, the Miami Heat. They're starting to resemble that team that made it to the finals last year. Jimmy Butler playing incredibly well. Bam really stepping up. It's criminal that both Jimmy and Bam are not all-stars this year. I think they both deserve to be in the all-star game more than Nikola Vucevic of the Magic, who took one of the front court spots in the East.
Well, here's the thing. That I'm glad you mentioned Jimmy Butler, Bam. I actually did see something on Twitter, Yoni, that I think that Jimmy Butler was elected, but he actually refused to go without Bam. That's what I think I heard.
Yes. Regarding the replacement pick, Sabonis ended up getting the nod, but it was offered to Jimmy first, is what I heard as well.
Go on, number 8. Miami's an interesting one. Go on, number 8.
Right. Number 8 is the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh,
hear me out here. When fully healthy, they are a top 5 team and a championship contender. However, now Tobias Harris is down. And their main reason for being down here is the Tobias Harris injury. They are one of the few teams I have in the championship contender. Seth Curry has not played the same since coming back from COVID. And Embiid is neck and neck with LeBron for MVP. They're down here because of injury. Would be a top 5 team at full strength.
I can't believe the pure blasphemy out of your mouth right now. How in the high seas could you have the Sixers at number 8, who's going to be an Eastern Conference Finals team at the minimum? At number 8, they are not going to lose to at least the Conference Finals maybe, and you have them at number 8. I can't believe the other words that are coming out of your mouth. Go ahead, number 7.
Tobias, my God. Tobias is hurt. That's 20 points, and it severely deprecates their team because they have an incredible starting 5. If they go out and get Kyle Lowry, like people are saying, that starting 5 is going to be amazing. As is, they need Tobias Harris badly. He's hurt.
But what did that mean? They had to trade Ben Simmons?
I don't think so. Lowry's on an expiring deal. All the mock trades I'm seeing, people don't think that he would need to be given up to get it. They'd talk about matching Danny Green and other salary. Number 7 is Golden State. It's been really fun this year to see Steph come back into that MVP form, jacking up shots. Draymond's playing nicely as a facilitator. Oubre and Wiggins are taking turns. One of them's shooting awful, the other shoots good. It's been fun to see. They're a competitive team. They need Clay to come back to be a true contender, but at the moment I'm content to see them as a top 10 team.
Number 6.
Number 6, the Milwaukee Bucks. They lost some depth, but I think they improved their starting lineup by getting DiVincenzo in there and swapping Drew Holiday for Bledsoe. They're lacking some shooting right now, but they defend at a very high level and make anyone uncomfortable, especially when their shots are falling. And Giannis will give his team a chance. The team still doesn't have a closer or a jumper. They had a very impressive win on the Clippers last night. Number 5 is the Phoenix Suns. This team will sneak up on you. CP3 and Devin Booker are legitimate all-stars. CP3 is teaching them how to win. And at this point, I would say the Phoenix Suns are the best team that I don't consider a championship contender right now.
Now, do you think they could pull? You think they could pull an upset on the Clippers or the Lakers or even the Jazz?
I don't think they can do it with the Lakers. I think the Lakers' size gets them. I think that if everything goes right, they have a shot to get the Clippers. And Utah is tough, but I can see it with Utah a lot more easily. A chance on Utah, a smaller chance on the Clippers, and no chance with the Lakers.
Number 4.
Number 4 is the Los Angeles Clippers. They're a focused, slightly improved team. Ibaka's been nice, a very good replacement for Trez. They did not address their weakness from last season of having an initiator on offense. But I guess they're hoping that Serge on defense will be a good enough improvement for the potential matchups that facing the Lakers if it comes to that. So they still need an initiator on offense. And I think that with the trade deadline and buyout season approaching, that's where their focus is going to be.
All right, who you got at number 3 there?
Number 3 is the Utah Jazz.
Oh.
They have such such great chemistry and continuity. I believe they have six players averaging double-digit scoring right now. They've had a very uninterrupted year, like in a COVID style. Like, they're a very familiar team with each other. They haven't had many people miss games. Quinn Snyder is my coach of the year right now. Gobert is my defensive player of the year, and Jordan Clarkson's my sixth man of the year. They're playing a really fun team basketball.
All right.
Number 2, the Los Angeles Lakers. I think that even with Dennis Schroeder and without AD, they are the second best team in the league. It's an improved team from the one that won a championship last year. So they have greatly improved depth. Like, their bench is very nice. They need AD. They miss his points and how he can create a shot for himself. But when they have another initiator besides LeBron, they're still the second best team. Ideally, they lost some physical, imposing big man presence, which in the offseason, which did not get replaced. They signed Damian Jones. Maybe he's the answer. Maybe buyout and free agency trades could address it. But Damian Jones in limited minutes last night looked like he might be a long-term answer for that. Even though he probably won't win MVP, I think LeBron is the league's MVP right now. And that leads me to the Brooklyn Nets at number 1. Sean Marks is the runaway executive of the year for the season. The biggest concern for me with this team, they've started to prove that their defense can be average. And if their defense is average, then their offense is going to kill people. They have a continuity problem that is worrying me. I don't think Kyrie, Harden, and Durant have spent much time together. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like they're a better fit when only 2 of the 3 are playing than when all 3 of them are playing together. DeAndre Jordan is the key to this team for me. He needs to get back to being a defensive anchor. They've started trying to address their defense lately. They recently signed Andre Roberson in that regard, and because in between the 3 of them, you're going to have a good offense. Between him and Bruce Brown and the other bench pieces, they're hopefully going to be there. Right now, the Brooklyn Nets are the best team in the league, though I should add that if the Lakers had AD at full strength, the Lakers would be number 1. So that's my top 10. In the championship contender circle are the Nets, Lakers, Jazz, Clippers, and Sixers.
Okay, so I don't have a lot of time here with you, so I'm gonna throw 4 Washington D.C. sports questions at you at once, and I'm gonna give you one for each team. So I'll do the first one is, how do you feel with Alex Smith of the Washington football team being released? That's one. Number 2, do you think Tom Wilson is a dirty player for the Washington Capitals? Number 3, you think Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook will lead the Washington Wizards to the playoffs? And number 4, will Juan Soto lead the Washington Nationals to the playoffs? So those are my 4 questions.
Righto. Okay, Alex Smith. I think that Alex Smith is not the right guy for long term. I think he was very inspirational. It was a very good story. I think it's tough to predict where he's going forward, and with his number on the cap sheet, does not look very good. I believe it's $24 million, and we need to capitalize on this opportunity now while we have like a lot of young and relatively inexpensive players. We pursued Stafford heavily, couldn't get him. Obviously, if Watson and Russell Wilson came, it'd be incredible. I don't believe either of them will. I think Heineke is serviceable and a discount, and ideally we could get someone like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That's what I said, him or Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota would be serviceable too. Ryan Fitzpatrick's another guy I could see, certainly. Okay, your next question, I believe, was about...
I said, is Wilson do you think Tom Wilson's a dirty player?
The Caps. I think that our team, we have a very talented... The Caps are a very talented team, have been for years. I think that Wilson brings an edge that you need on a championship team. Like, he'll bring the hits, he'll rally the troops. Those fights have a way of bringing out the adrenaline and having people compete harder with one another. And does Tom Wilson get into the category of dirty? He does. He definitely ventures into that category a fair bit. But I think it's a key part of our team.
And now, I'm actually going to only give you a minute, but do you think Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook could lead you to the playoffs, and you think Juan Soto could lead the Washington Nationals to the playoffs?
Yes for Beal and Westbrook, no for Soto. Maybe things would be different if baseball's playoff stays extended.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, thank you, Yoni, for coming on the show. I truly appreciate it. I thought I was gonna have to, get on your nerves for the complete blasphemy that you don't have the Philadelphia 76ers in your top 5, but you have a horrid roster in the Los Angeles Lakers at number 2 and the Utah Jazz at number 3. What in the high seas is wrong with you? I feel like we're back in college again, me yelling at you.
I wish we were back at that whiteboard, man. I'm getting those vibes.
Dude, remember when we would always just have to walk in and I would just yell at you, and then the staff members would be like, what are you doing with the whiteboard?
Came into that room, had to pick a side. It was the best.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll talk to you later, Yoni. Thanks. Have a good day.
Man.
Bye-bye. Thanks for coming on.
Bye. No problem.
The complete blasphemy that the Sixers are only the 8th best team in the NBA, according to him. What kind of nonsense did I have to hear out of his mouth? That is the most ridiculous thing I've heard on this show yet from a guest. And no, I'm not just hyping it up because he's one of my best friends or whatever. That's true. But I could agree with him about the Brooklyn Nets being the best team in the league. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of time here. Thanks for tuning in to Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day as well and also your week. I will be back on the air at the same time on Thursday. MLB stuff, NFL, NHL, NBA game recaps. Use promo code 12ouncesports. All cats with deposit bonus up to $1,000 for my bookie.